Most people can tell you what they use on their skin. Fewer can tell you where it comes from, who formulated it, or who owns the company behind it.
And that matters because beauty has never only been about appearance. It has always reflected culture, values, wellness, access, and power. We created Issue Zero to hold space for conversations that connect culture, business, systems, and lived experience, because what exists on the surface is rarely the full story.
And understanding who builds, who benefits, and who shapes the direction of industries helps us understand where influence and responsibility actually live.
I'm Tristan Cunningham, founder of Trura and Issue Zero.
And I'm Seneca Connor.
And this is Issue Zero. Today's episode is a guest founder expert conversation. We begin with a founder currently building and leading in real time, then bring in an expert with executive experience to expand the conversation through leadership, skill, and perspective.
This format is designed to bridge vision with experience and to create space for honest conversations around growth, transitions, sustainability, and ownership.
Today, we're joined by April Vaughn Shabazz, owner and lead formulator of Earth to Face, an organic plant-based skincare line rooted in herbalist formulation, sustainability, and intentional wellness.
Originally founded in 2010 by herbalist Sarah Bouchot and Marina Storm, Earth to Face built its identity around multi-purpose skincare made with 100% plant-based and food-grade ingredients, with formulations designed to be zero-toxin, palm-free, endangered plant-free, and packaged with sustainability in mind.
April's journey into wellness and skincare began long before beauty. After spending 3 decades in education, her work evolved towards holistic wellness and restorative practices.
She brings more than 20 years of experience in nutrition, yoga, craniosacral therapy, Pilates, and holistic health, approaching beauty through the philosophy that wellness begins from the inside out.
And this conversation is about stewardship, sustainability, acquisition, and what it means to inherit a brand with an existing philosophy while shaping its future under new leadership. April, welcome to Issue Zero. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So before wellness, before skincare, before Earth to Face, and is it pronounced Earth to Face or
Yes.
Earth to Face?
Yes.
Because I speak French, and I've heard it pronounced Earth to Face, and I'm like, no, it's two, which is French.
Either.
Okay, all right.
Either works for me.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
before wellness, before skincare, before Earth to Face, who were you becoming through these years and chapters of your life?
Wow. I didn't know who I was becoming, and I just evolved. So I'll go step by step. Before Earth to Face, for about 20 years, I worked with people from the inside out as a holistic health practitioner.
Wow.
And backing up from there, that stemmed from me being sick myself. For about 5 years, they couldn't figure out what was wrong. I couldn't eat food. And so I took a journey to heal myself, literally. And from that, I think I just kind of blossomed into that person I was meant to be.
Wow.
I was headed to law school after college, but then I got into wellness. And I also, at the same time, was working on my executive master's in public administration So I still did the government job for many years, but
Sure.
on the side, it was wellness, and it was more or less just teaching people what I was learning from my own
Yes.
journey. And then that evolved into me being in my own practice for many years. And I left my government job and then for about 8 years. And then I was kind of burned out with the wellness. So I went back into
To
the
corporate.
Right.
government job.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I felt like it was going to be easy. And so I did compliance, labor compliance. But in that job, people would come to me for wellness tips once they
Wow.
found out
Really?
what I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
sure. All the stresses
that was
and
the evolution. Yeah. So I did a couple of workshops in the workplace, and I had a small client base. And then one day this came about. I was at that point in the government job where I knew it was something more I should be doing
Sure.
in the wellness space.
probably
I wanted
especially
to
with
teach.
your the education that you had
Yes.
receive and the research that you did and what you found out about
Yes.
healing yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And it wasn't just myself, but it was always also my kids. My son, he has epilepsy, and
Oh,
we work through that holistically, and
wow.
grandparents and parents. So I just knew I needed to get back to it.
Yeah.
And somehow, some way, Earth to Face came about through a mutual friend, and it just one thing led to another,
As
and
it always does.
yeah, so I was like, "Oh no, this is not for me," but I guess it was
Right.
because I feel like I'm, sliding into
Yeah.
home plate,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so
That's wonderful. I mean, it just seems like as you tell the story, so many things have brought you and experiences have brought you to where you are now, even though some may have been difficult, but what came out of it was, your calling, which seems to be
mhm.
following you, which is wellness, right? Like
Yes.
even in your government job, people are coming to you
Yes.
because that's, something that's in you. That's a
Yes.
calling for you. So, how did all of those experiences kind of prepare you for this role and being an entrepreneur, like in a product based business with Earth to Face?
I think so, probably a number of things, because if I back up a bit more, my sister and I had a small business when we both had babies,
Mm.
and it was sourcing and selling natural products for babies. I had a
Oh,
baby with a bad rash all
yeah.
over his body, and just sensitivities.
Yes.
Some of my baby's sensitivities came from me being sick. So
Oh, okay.
that's
Right.
really where it started way back then. So we would stay up late at night and look for products, and then we started doing shows, and um really it started back then, but then life took over, and we did
Sure.
our regular jobs. So I think the preparation came then.
Mm-hmm.
We knew I was learning about products, how it works, and I would always say, this is not what I want to do, but I do want to teach people. I
Yes.
want to teach people what I'm
Education.
finding and learning, and so from that I actually started learning how to make my own products. So
That's
at home,
awesome.
just growing up with an uncle that loved herbs, and he gave me herb books, and
That's
it
awesome.
started connecting me kind of back to my roots.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of like a zigzag story, but it's the product side started back then. And then later in my education, when I went to school for my PhD in natural health sciences,
Yes.
I focus on herbalism.
On
So
herbalism.
in my practice, I started making tinctures and teas and
Okay.
herbal products for my clients then.
Wow.
So Earth to Face kind of just fit right into that
Into,
because I was
yeah.
already practicing,
Right.
herbalism. And this was just like, okay, now I'm going from the outside in approach,
Yes,
and
yes.
how do I bring these two together? And I think the previous owner, who's gracious enough to help
Sarah.
me see
Sarah
that.
Bouchot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So we talked a lot about that. How can they all be weaved together in this
Yes.
beauty business that's ever evolving?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think evolving in a lot of ways to a better place
Yes.
Yes.
because people are becoming more aware
Yes.
about how what they're putting on their skin
Yes.
is affecting them, and people were wanting more natural, ingredients and things that have less chemicals, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, a lot of times we don't need all of that stuff.
Right.
The junk that's in some of the
Yeah. Yeah.
some of the products.
Definitely,
Yes.
definitely junks. You said you used to do shows. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
I would do, I'm missing the name, but it's the big show near Disney, like Natural Products West, and they have a Natural Products
Okay.
East, and there would be like baby shows, exhibitions that my sister and I would go to,
Nice.
and little small pop-up where we were introducing other people's products, though, at the time, because we would try them out. We would ask for samples
Okay.
only, and some of those brands are still around, and some of them, of course, have sold out to bigger companies, so they're
Yes.
not totally natural anymore.
Mm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
those were very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, because
Right.
my sister's very introverted, so I would be, and I'm kind of as well. So it would be like, yeah, very interesting.
Two introverts at the
Yeah,
show
at the show,
selling.
yes.
Yeah, but I would be the
So-
one willing, like everything showed on her face. So
Okay,
I would
right.
be like the cleanup woman.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, those are the shows we did back then.
Well, that's fun to be able to do it with a family member and
yeah.
your sister at that.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about the tinctures. You said that you created tinctures and products yourself. Tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
I'm very
Yes.
interested too
Yes.
to learn about that. Yeah.
Yeah, so of course, prior to Earth to Face and when I was practicing in Pleasanton, I saw lots of clients from age, I would say 5 to 80.
Wow.
Virtually, I
It's a
would
great
see clients.
demographic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all over, all different health conditions.
Yeah.
But what I did find is I saw a lot of people who had similar health conditions that I did, mostly gastrointestinal.
Right.
So I became the gastrointestinal whisperer.
Wow.
Love that.
Because I can relate to them as a
Sure.
practitioner as well as a
Right.
patient
Mhm.
for many years. So I was working in the office of a pediatric cardiologist. He's amazing. He works with not only kids with cardiac issues, but kids with dysautonomia, which is a cluster of all kinds of things going on.
Right.
So he was a specialist in that. And they started asking for other things besides medication. And that's when he looked to me and was like, April?
Yeah.
At first he would tell me, don't talk to them about those herbs, don't talk to
Really?
them about,
He
yeah.
was
Yeah.
resistant
A little
to
bit.
natural medicine.
A little
A little
He
bit.
was curious though, which was great to work with him because he
Right.
evolved. But
Yes.
in the beginning, it was like, proceed with caution.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But he gave me that opportunity to really introduce other ways and other alternatives and
Right.
address the concerns of some of the parents.
That's wonderful.
So I took several herbalism courses, and some of it just came naturally because, like I said, from family and
Sure.
from how I grew up.
Right.
So I make special blend tinctures for people's constitutions.
Oh, wow.
So I'll evaluate their constitution and see, okay, maybe this herb is good for you, but not for you. And it's all based on an evaluation.
Customized. Wow.
And then I'll do teas for people who don't like tinctures. So that's my happy place, playing with the
Wow.
herbs, playing with formulations, looking at a person and saying, okay, you may have a stomach ache, but it may be stemming from something in your
Something
nervous system.
yes.
So I'm going to treat the nervous system first and then the tummy,
Right.
So
This
Yeah.
is such valuable information.
Oh,
So
God.
just to tell a quick little story, my grandfather, who's from the deep South, Mississippi, he was like a natural doctor like before, I don't know that was even a concept. He was born in 1912. And so, but growing up, he didn't, he made everything himself. Toothpaste and his soaps, his everything he used
Without the chemicals.
without the
Yes.
chemicals, was natural. And he gave me, I was asthmatic as a child, badly, in and out of the hospital and things
Still now.
like that.
Right?
Yeah, I still do, but it's not as bad as
Yeah.
when I was a child.
Yeah.
And he made me, he called it the tonic, right?
Yeah.
And he always had it.
Not the chronic. The tonic.
No, the tonic. The tonic. He always had it in the
Yeah.
refrigerator for me. It was something with like, it did not taste good. It was like garlic and cayenne
Ooh.
pepper and all these different things. But if I started coughing, he said, go get a swig of that tonic.
Yeah.
And then it would help.
No, and it helped. People used
Yeah.
to come by the house for herbs and different things, like
Yeah.
people with bleeding ulcers and all, and he would tell them what to do and
Natural
give,
healer.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And once he needed to have a tooth pulled, and he wouldn't let them give him any numbing. He said, I won't put any chemicals in my body.
Yeah.
And they just had to pull it without any
Wow.
numbing.
Yeah.
Did he use cloves at least?
No, he just
cloves
said,
numbs.
Amazing.
Right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know. He just said, just pull it. And they did. And I'm like, he was very serious.
Good
Yeah.
for him.
Yes.
And I just feel like
That's
I
me.
wish I had sat under
Right?
Yes.
him and learned.
Yeah.
I have a few things that I remember,
Yeah.
but gosh, like you said, your uncle, you growing up that way, I really hope that we,
Get back to that.
get back
Yeah.
and then pass it on.
Yeah. And
Well,
it
now you
comes
have April.
naturally, And I have a pantry full of stuff, and
Yeah.
people do come to my house and say, I need something.
Now you have,
Which
now you
is-
have
I need
April.
it now.
Right, right.
But it
because-
comes natural to me,
Yeah.
which is maybe somewhere way, in
Yeah,
a past life,
yeah.
that's what I
Yeah,
did.
definitely.
Yeah.
But it comes natural.
That's a calling,
Yeah.
and a purpose for you to be doing that and imparting that knowledge, which is
And
really
wisdom
special.
and education, so important.
Yeah.
But now we have April, so yeah.
I know. So now I know who to call when I need
Right.
something.
I
know.
love that you said cloves
Oh,
because
yeah.
I use that because I can't take any antibiotics.
Oh, really?
So I found out when I was having my son, they gave me the last resort antibiotic and I went into anaphylactic shock. So since my son's 21 now. So
Wow.
since then, I have not taken antibiotics.
my
so
gosh.
tooth infection, yes, absolutely. So I have to think of all different ways, to
and the earth, everything that's been provided for us on earth
yeah.
is for us to use.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right.
yeah.
And people knew this
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
before we had this like traditional medicine that we now know. Go to the urgent care, the ER, right? And that stuff didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And also, even from a perspective of people who grew up in the South, Black people, there were doctors available,
That's
Yes.
right.
or
That's right.
doctors that we could see
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
that
have to
were
go.
for Black people. And so, you used, what your grandmother told you to.
What's in the cabinet?
Yeah,
What's in the cabinet?
Casserole.
Yes, right.
I use
Oh,
that for a
casserole.
Yeah.
lot.
Oh,
a
yes.
lot. I use it for all sorts of things.
That's
I'm originally
wonderful.
from Haiti, as you know, but my grandmother, and my great grandmother, and all these women that were in my life I learned so much from them, and I'm so grateful for that knowledge because
Yeah.
and my cupboards are now full of all of
Yeah.
that stuff too,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be full with more now that I have you in my
Yeah.
world.
Yes.
It's the most simple things. We have to always remember that. And it
That's
actually
true.
works.
That's true,
It might just take a little bit longer, but
Yeah.
it'll be longer
But it
lasting.
works.
and it's
Yeah.
better for your body,
Mhm.
Right.
right?
Mhm. Yeah.
So you speak about wellness and beauty through an inside out philosophy, clearly rooted in balance and restoration. What experiences first shaped that understanding for you personally? I know you said you were ill when you were younger and you had gastrointestinal issues.
Yes.
What other experiences really pushed you in that direction?
I would say the other big thing probably was my son. When he was diagnosed with epilepsy, I became that rebel parent.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
Mama Bear.
I became Mama Bear. And I knew that after 2 weeks of giving him the medication, it was a nightmare. And
Oh,
I
no.
said, this is making him worse, not better. And so I said, I have to find another way.
And thank God you had the instinct, right?
Yes,
Thank
yes.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when a kid is in school and in sports and things like that, it's not the thing you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I decided to call my herbalist friend. She's like a master herbalist. And I
Wow.
said, what can we do? Because I don't want to see him on the medication. And so we did lots of things. Changed
Okay.
his diet. I found out, on one of the medications, they would have to check his liver every 3 months.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, so what can we do to, even though he's not taking the medicine, the liver must be the source. So
Right.
in functional medicine, which is one thing that I practice, you look for the root. You
Yeah.
look for the root
Yes.
organ. You look for, where's the source?
Where's the-
What
Sure.
can be.
Right.
So that whole experience with him probably was one of the other big things that made me say, okay, there
This
is
is-
another way.
Yes.
He's great in sports. He did
Right.
great in school. And his doctors at Stanford and other hospitals, they told me he wouldn't because I wasn't medicating him. So it was a journey with that. But we used herbs, we changed diet, watched triggers. So
Right.
I would say that, and then a couple of other family members getting sick,
Mhm.
and just finding other ways to help them.
Yes.
So life,
Yeah.
Well,
life, and then
yeah.
also seeing it work, like especially for myself,
Yes.
just seeing it work
Right.
and work over and over again. I felt like, okay, now it's time for me to teach this to people, and
Yeah.
that's what I started to do little by little, just conversations
Yes.
sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes sometimes. Like my grandmother used to always do cleanses, natural cleanses, and the, what do you call it? The enemas.
Yeah.
And I remember I had to have surgery when I was 9 years old, and she's the one that prepped me for the surgery. Like they were saying, oh, you're gonna have to do all this and that, and she's like, no, we'll just give you an enema, we'll give you some herbs and things to kind of clean you out, and then you'll just go in surgery and you'll do
Yeah.
fine. And then afterwards too, she was so helpful in all of
Yeah.
that.
That
So
knowledge is just, it's priceless. I mean, you can't
so
really
valuable.
put a
Price
price
on
on it, just having someone who knows what to do, in these situations. But I want to ask about, because it seems like you got a lot of pushback from traditional practitioners about your decisions that you were making for
Yourself and your
yourself
son.
or
Yes.
other people that you might have been teaching or treating. So talk a little bit about that and how traditional medicine responded to you deciding not to medicate your child.
I got lots of, I wouldn't say threats, but like I said before, like he's not going to thrive. You have to put him on this short term. It's very dangerous, which it could be, like he could walk in the street or, but seeing him on the medication, I said, well, that's just as bad. So I
And-
can, it's more my way of thinking. Not just doctors, but other people,
Yeah.
friends and some
Sure.
family kind of
Yeah.
look at you like, this
What?
is dangerous. Like,
Yes.
why wouldn't
Right.
why wouldn't you?
Yes,
But
yes.
I think, and even for myself, so I think sometimes you just have to show people. Like I
Right.
was taking a chance, but in my heart, I knew there's always another way.
Right.
So I think just showing them, just them seeing me do my research
Yes.
and
And
really
seeing
put my
you,
mind to
yes,
it, seeing me stick up for my son,
yes.
even
Right.
stick up for myself.
Yes.
And
Even
seeing
for
it work.
myself, the doctors, I couldn't eat any food. I
Oh
couldn't
my
digest any
gosh.
food. I was like, I don't know how small, but very, very small, but I was functioning.
Mm-hmm.
And they told me I was crazy. They wish they were my size. I
Are
was
you?
small, but I was
That's crazy.
tired every day. They didn't see that side of it.
Right.
And so they had no solutions. So I found a acupuncturist. Couldn't
Yeah.
understand a word he said to
Right.
me.
But
But he probably was the biggest turning point.
sure.
He did acupuncture and the herbs.
Yeah.
And the herbs were horrible. They were
Yeah.
absolutely horrible. They
Yes.
stink the whole house up. But
Mm.
that's really what helped me turn the corner.
Really?
So
Wow.
that actually was one of the first times I said, you know what? I'm going to blend herbs. I'm going to make teas, and they're not going to taste nasty like that.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
Yeah, so
She
that
found her
was one
niche.
of the
Yeah.
reasons. Yeah. I
That's
said, no,
great.
I did it, but I know some people are not going to drink this black gook.
Right.
Yes. I
Yeah.
drink the black gook.
Yeah, I'll still drink it myself,
yeah.
but a lot of people won't. But
Yes.
yeah, just pushing. I had a lot of experience, a lot of pushback, but I think just me showing like this works,
Yes.
or
Right.
put your mind to it,
I'm a
or
living
yeah,
example.
Yeah.
I'm a living
And
example.
why does it have to be one or the other?
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
I've always thought.
Maybe
It's like
exactly.
it doesn't
Complement.
have to be one or the other. It can
Mhm.
complement, and also you can try
Mhm.
the like you did. Your son tried the medication,
Yeah.
and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
It was making him worse.
Worse.
So
Yeah.
why continue on
Yeah.
down
Plus
that
side effects
road?
probably as well.
Right?
Yeah, side effects and all of those things. So I
Yeah.
even had other mothers with children with epilepsy start to come to me
Wow.
and ask. And we would do things like I would set up protocols where they would stay on their medication, but there were other things we did to support their body.
Mhm.
Right.
In most cases, because
Mhm.
it's hard to just discontinue. I never encouraged that.
Right.
But yeah. So like I said, people would come to me with issues that were similar to things I dealt with. And it was just by chance,
Yeah.
Or by
So,
design.
by design, maybe.
yes.
Yeah.
Really, I
Love
think that's
that.
by design.
Absolutely.
They found the person that had the
That they
knowledge that they
needed.
needed,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I have gone through a very difficult, challenging medical situation where I was in the hospital like 5 times for weeks, and they couldn't
Figure
tell
out
me
what's
like
happening.
why that was happening. It really, really just kind of messed with my view of traditional medicine.
Mhm.
And in that, what I
Yeah.
realized is that I'm an attorney, right? And I practice law, right? Practice.
Mm.
And they're doctors, and they're also
Practicing
practicing.
Yeah.
medicine. Yeah.
And they don't know
Yeah.
everything.
No.
That's absolutely right.
And, if I have to go into the hospital all these times, you guys can't figure, and I'm at one of the Cedars-Sinai, one of the best
Oh,
hospitals,
yeah.
in the country,
Mhm.
and you guys can't figure it out.
Yeah.
It made me really think like, okay, you know what? Let me open up my mind to other things as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because y'all really don't. Y'all know some stuff,
Yeah.
but you don't really know
Everything.
everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so that taught me a lot too about questioning.
Yeah.
Um,
Ask
Always.
questions.
Yes.
Always.
I always tell people, be your own
Always.
advocate.
Right.
Oh,
Get support. And many times they don't know because they're not taught.
yes.
And people would ask me sometimes, why you didn't go to medical school? I said, well, I got a PhD because that's education.
yes.
And
yeah.
I can educate, and I won't be regulated by if I tell people the truth.
Right.
And they would look at me like, oh.
Yeah.
But I've even educated doctors in my capacity.
Yes.
So in that way, I can have that voice and
Yes.
say, like maybe what they can't say and want to say, or maybe what
Right.
they just don't know. But I have
Mm.
met doctors that are open to knowing.
Yeah.
And I think that's my purpose. You know, I
Yes.
probably would get a license pulled if
No,
if I
no,
did,
that's
because I'm
true.
going to tell people,
The
well,
truth and
The
yeah,
truth. And
yeah,
yeah, so I
yeah.
think that's really great. And the acupuncture, I'm a big believer in
oh my God,
acupuncture.
same here.
Hmm.
Yeah, it helped me have my son. So yeah,
Wow.
it did. Actually, the practitioner, because I had to do IVF, because what I ended up finding out after those 5 hospitalizations was that I had
I was
endometriosis.
just gonna
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
And then that complicated trying to get
yeah.
pregnant. But the third IVF doctor I went to, he was a Korean guy, and he had the little brochure for acupuncture right there in his office. And he
Nice. I
said,
love
"This
it.
is what we recommend you do 6 months.
Yeah.
You start it before we start the process of getting. And that time that I did it, that's when I got pregnant with my son.
Yeah.
So
What a
Rolling.
blessing.
it's such a blessing, and I
Yeah.
and I truly believe that that was instrumental
Yes.
in being successful
Yeah.
that
No, I
time.
Yeah.
believe
So
in the
yeah,
herbalistic Chinese medicine, all of
Hmm.
right.
that. I'm just a huge advocate. So
Hmm.
we'd love to hear more about, besides the um natural and herbal that Earth to Face is known for. What specifically drew you to Earth to Face? And tell us the story about how that happened. Because as you know, I knew Sarah
Hmm.
with the brand, and we featured her in one of our issues in the
Okay.
past.
Yeah.
And I sent an email to have her on, and then April
Yeah.
responded and said, I purchased the business in
Yeah.
December of 2014 or 2024,
2024.
sorry.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh my God. And she goes, yeah, it's now Black women owned. And I was like,
Yeah.
Amazing.
so tell us.
It's amazing. And like I said, it's kind of like a whirlwind. So at the time, I was working for a city government, and I was in that space of it's time for me to shift back
Mm-hmm.
into my passion work.
Yeah.
That was my work. And then I
Yes.
had my passion work. And at the same time, we mutually knew a friend that owned a cafe in Concord, a
Oh, nice.
raw vegan cafe.
Oh, wow.
And I was working with a business consultant, mutual as well, and she knew Sarah. She would help Sarah with her business as well. And we were going to, she loved the concept of the teas. So we were going to open a tea room in her
Nice.
space because
Oh,
she was tired.
right.
Yes.
So yeah, so we were like, we should just convert it to a tea room instead of you. So that didn't pan out totally, but she also worked on doing some of the handmade products for Earth to Face
Okay.
in her shop. So that's where I was familiar with the product line because I would always be in the cafe and I'd smell the aroma and I'd be like, oh, this is amazing. At that time, also, my daughter had her own skincare line.
Oh,
Right.
And so we were thinking of like having her help hand make her products. And, so we
Yeah.
were in that space for that purpose. And then maybe months, I forget, maybe a year later, our mutual friend, the business consultant, called me and told me that Sarah was interested in. And I said, oh, really? Like she was going to do this tea room thing
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
us. So I'm surprised.
Yeah.
But I'm taking the information like, oh, it's information,
Yeah. Yeah.
not related to me purchasing or anything. So she calls me back again. April, she's wondering if you would be interested. Would you have a conversation? And I'm like, no, I can't even imagine,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just the space I was in my life. I couldn't imagine. And I was working a full-time job and I
Yes.
didn't know how that was going to happen.
Right.
And I kid you not, we spoke once and almost the conversation was like, I think you should be the one. I'm like, are you
Wow.
talking to other people?
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I think
Wow.
she did, but we kept talking and it just evolved. And I said, well, there must be a purpose for this. So I
Yeah.
How long
really,
did the whole process take? Like from the time your friend said, hey, maybe, and then,
maybe less than 6 months.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
that's amazing.
And it
Less
found
than
you.
6 months. And I
Yes.
kept dipping out and,
Yeah, just
like,
dipping your little toes in and
yeah, like,
seeing.
no, I love the products. It fits really well. As I said, I was making more of the teas and tinctures and my own stuff at home and then
Yes.
helping my daughter a little bit. She just evolved and made her own products. But yeah, it was just like I meditate,
Yes.
I go take walks in nature when I feel like I'm under pressure
Yes.
Mhm.
or I need to think. So
Yes.
I took
Yeah.
a couple of walks and I think I took a trip to Sedona. I often take trips there to think clearly.
Yeah.
So I did before I made the final decision. And when I came back, I was clear. I said, there's a reason for this.
Yeah.
And even though this is different than you practicing consulting with
Yeah.
people, there's a reason for this. And Sarah and I talked a lot about adding more education
Yes.
and adding more of turning this into a lifestyle,
Right.
brand
Yes.
versus
Right.
just products.
Right.
And I think that's what sold me.
Okay.
I said, okay, if I can weave all this together, in some
Yeah.
way. And that's what I'm still working on that,
Of course.
in this
Sure.
Little
first
by
year.
little by little.
Yeah, but I see it now. I'm seeing it more
Yes.
clearly as I get intimate with the products and the ingredients and
I can see
yeah.
the tinctures. I can see the tea room. I can see the
Mhm.
education, the classes. I can see all of it. So
Yes.
well
Yes.
done, you.
Yeah. So, and it was a company built on integrity.
Yes.
And I can tell, like
Yes.
I just could tell a lot of passion went into it, intention. And when we sat and talked about the ingredients and the blends, I was like, yeah, this is something I could do.
Yes.
I don't know how,
Yeah.
but I can.
Right.
Well,
But
the
it
how will
just
always
all
come,
came
right?
together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it came together quite rapidly and quite beautifully.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah, but I knew the products way back, like I said, from my
Yes.
friend's cafe, and I had tried a couple of them as she's making them. And so I
Yes.
said, okay, this is good stuff. Because
Yes.
it's a lot of clean beauty out there that's
Yes.
not
That's
clean
not
beauty.
clean at
No,
all.
it's true.
Yes.
And
Very
Yeah.
it's
true.
not really clean. And that's something I wanted to talk to you about too, just about like the beauty industry right now and what you think about it from your perspective as someone who knows, what a
Mhm.
good ingredients are and what they aren't. So, because, I mean, I
Yeah.
go into Sephora and I see that little clean
Mm-hmm.
tag on there, but at the end of the day, you don't know what that really means.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who has time to go in and really look at it? So it's nice to hear,
Yeah.
first of all, your background, where you come from, the issues that you had, your experience, and then really aligning with the brand and the
Mhm.
product and knowing what it's made of.
Yes.
I think it's super important to
Yeah.
know.
It is very important. What's interesting is, like I said, about 20 years, more than 20 years ago, I was in the space, the
Mhm.
wellness space, green and, eco-friendly and all of that stuff. And people were not ready for it. I would
Yeah.
talk to people about things. So when I did my other degree, natural health sciences, um my final study was on environmental medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I studied a lot about the impact of the environment,
Wow.
products, ingredients, and all those
Yes.
things. Electromagnetic radiation. I used to go around, like, even to my kids' schools, like, don't put those smart boards up,
Yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah.
put those towers over the
Yes,
kids,
yes.
I was that person.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's awesome. I think that
Yeah.
people like you are needed,
Oh
right?
my God,
To
100%.
be the conscience, for
Yeah.
our society, the school, the kids.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to be there to bring these things to the forefront.
Yeah.
And
So
the
as I'm
education,
learning,
too.
I'm like, people need to know. But people were not ready over 20 years ago. They were
No.
not ready. So
Yeah.
to answer your question, I've seen it evolve a lot because
Yes.
more people are ready for, some of the things I say that were not before. They were like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like, even with food, with food, Thanksgiving, I would make like the vegan mac and cheese, things
Yeah,
like that.
right.
people just were not ready, and especially in the beauty world. And that's why a lot of times, because I was very sensitive, my skin and everything from being sick,
Right.
I would use just coconut oil,
Yeah.
like coconut oil spray on something. And I saw that it worked.
Right.
And so now you hear more and more people talk about a lot of these things. And I'm always thinking, 20, 25 years ago, I was trying to tell you.
Right. But now you guys see what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, it was almost like, you know.
Yes. And now it's all the rage and it's the thing, to be more natural and use more natural products, and not use, all of the stuff with the chemicals, right? And so you were just like way before your time.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's beautiful to see it evolve, but now you got to navigate it because it can go way over here too. And, there's extremes and then there's proper education.
Right.
So
speaking of education, tell us a little bit about the product philosophy. You brought some pieces with you today.
Yeah,
we'd love to learn a little bit
I want to
about
see
it.
what these are.
Yeah, I brought just a few things I remembered.
Okay.
I'll start with the seashell because this is
I
the
love that.
popular seashell.
Yeah, I tried it. It's so good.
The
I wanna
seashells, amazing. Of course, it's not my idea.
Yeah.
It was the two previous owners, which is great. I mean, a great concept. Taking seashells and pouring botanical perfumes and lip balms in them. So they're real seashells.
Yes.
And this brass trim is, they make them into little compacts. So some people just buy these empty and put their peels in them.
Yes.
So they
Came
up with this great idea.
Colors and
different
I love
colors,
this.
different fragrances. That's a jasmine.
Nice. And this is a lip balm, or is
that's
this
a
just...
botanical perfume?
Oh, this
and
is
then
a
we have
perfume.
lip balms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this.
So I didn't touch any of that. I left it as it was. I added two new fragrances when I came on. But the jasmine is the most popular, I would say.
Okay.
And then the lip balm, our lavender mint lip balm.
Wow.
Yeah. So the shells are like a hot commodity.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
imagine.
it's such a unique idea, and I think aesthetically, it's so cute.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
I like to have something cute in my
In your
bag.
bag,
To open up, and so I really love that.
Yeah.
What else we got?
So the balms, and they're very moisturizing. You can put them all over your body.
Wow.
Even the lip balm and it's all natural ingredients.
Yes.
Once again. So now I also brought our honey mask.
Ooh.
And at first when I looked
Looks
at it, I
good
was
to eat.
like, you're going to put this on your face? Like, this goes in the face. Because I spend a lot of time with the products, you know?
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, I got to love it. Or if I don't love it, I got to change it.
Right.
Most all of it, I love it. So the honey mask is honey, coconut, lavender, and rose flowers. That's it. But it works wonders because, good raw honey is ivermectin.
Oh, yeah, it definitely.
And it brings the glow to the skin, moisturizing. So this is a really fun product because I even put this in my teas. I put it on a piece of toast. So good enough to eat,
Girl,
literally.
you put this on your teeth?
Yes.
But that is literally their slogan. Their slogan is good enough to eat.
Let me see this honey mask. That is
So it's
that's
coconut.
awesome.
Yeah, good enough to eat. So
Well, it's
coconut,
just like
honey. It is what it is.
Some people put the avocado, make avocado mask. You can get a little chip and
Yeah.
chip into
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah. I put
love
it in
to
my
try
tea.
new products,
I know,
so.
me
It
too.
tastes amazing.
Wow.
It adds a whole dimension, another
So you can
dimension
literally
to the tea.
lick your face.
Yeah, you can lick your face.
I love that.
This is so cute. I mean, I really love this. Like, I'm getting some of this.
Definitely.
Yeah, I brought
definitely.
some stuff for you guys.
Oh,
too,
thank
but-
you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I might have only brought one honey mask though.
Well, I'm
I'll see.
taking it. I call dibs. I call dibs.
We'll do-
I call dibs. It's like me with my
I know where
sisters.
you're
Like,
like-
me, I get it first.
Right. I know where you live.
Right.
Yes,
You
you
can
do.
share it.
Yeah.
It lasts a long time.
Yeah.
So that's a product where
I love.
when I came on, I felt like it was sitting. It wasn't moving like
Mm.
some of the other products. And I was like, this is
Oh my
multi-purpose,
God.
you know, like
Do you do social media like marketing?
yes.
You need to do
I
this
have
is
an
my idea.
idea.
No, I have an idea.
Let's do
No,
it.
I have the idea.
Yeah.
The idea, like you need to
Yes,
get
please.
somebody
Please.
with, putting this on,
Us.
right?
Yes.
And then putting it in their tea and
Yes.
putting it on the toast, just like you
Yes.
Oh my
described.
God, let's do
right?
it.
Yes, please. Yes.
Because honestly, like I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
But if you show it,
yeah.
like
Seneca.
let people see
April, you
that.
and I are going to do it, and we're going to record it, and then we're going to
Yeah.
have and it's
Yeah.
going to
No,
start flying
I
off the
just
shelf.
think
Yeah.
that
Okay.
would,
Yeah.
that would just kind of show like this is an actual natural product
Yeah.
that you can use in many ways, and the visualization of that I think would just be powerful.
And
Yeah.
it will
Yeah.
be very much like, oh my God, I want to try this.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to do
we're
more
gonna
of
we're
that.
gonna help. We're gonna
Yes.
do that. Yes.
Show people, what the benefits are and how to use it and why it's so unique.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
it has a long shelf life because it's honey,
Yes.
and coconut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But a lot of times preservatives are put in products
Yeah.
to have a long shelf
Shelf
life.
life.
So that's the beauty of all these products. They all have a long shelf life and they have no preservatives.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
The skin stick, this is multi-purpose.
Okay.
Lots of people buy the skin stick, but I always find a new way to use it.
Okay. Tell me how.
So
Are
it's
we putting
geranium.
this on your
Yep.
toast?
And veteran. It's a lip balm.
Mhm.
It's good for bug bites.
Okay.
Nice.
When I got a tattoo, I healed, it does
Yeah.
the peeling and all that
Right.
stuff. I used the skin stick. That was it.
Wow.
I put it on my tummy if I have an upset stomach because it
Really?
has
So-
geranium, lavender. So these are essential oils. That's the first thing you
Oh,
remember.
okay.
What's in it? So it's
Essential
essential
oils.
oils,
Okay.
and the base is natural as well. So it's
Love
like you
that.
could bite that too, but it wouldn't be that great. But
yeah.
this is also good. I tell women going through menopause, like including myself, I rub it like across my chest and my neck and stuff at night, and it kind of cools me down.
Oh.
It calms my nervous system down. Again, it's essential oils.
Wow.
So it's the essential oils in here that's doing the work, and the balm part is the delivery system.
Sure.
Right.
So, yes, I've been in baseball games where it's all kinds of mosquitoes and stuff flying around. I rub it on because they hate geranium.
And they stay
It's
away.
the citronella of geranium will keep bugs away.
Oh,
So
is
it's a
that-
bug repellent, a lip balm. This is multi-purpose.
I
I love to have something like
Yeah.
that in my bag.
Yes.
Like something
This is
that
a
I
must
can.
have. And that's
Yeah.
why I think they chose this on
Yeah.
top because
Yes.
it's a must have. Yeah.
Multi-purpose.
Multi-purpose.
is
Love the skin
awesome.
stick. The face wash, I mean, hands down, the face wash is like
I can already
It's,
tell.
that's a
probably
a
the
must,
best face wash.
That's a
ever.
must have. So what does
Yes.
it have in it? What
Palm
does
rosa and aloe.
Oh.
So an
healing.
aloe-based
Yeah.
face wash is not going to strip your
Right.
skin.
Not dry.
It's gonna, non-drying. It's like moisturizer after optional, unless you
Yes.
have really dry,
Wow.
skin. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
Again, it's
You
all
can tell.
essential
Look at
oils
it.
with the
You can tell
aloe
it's, like,
base.
very rich.
Yes, it's very rich. It lasts a long time. No preservatives. It's what is on the label.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, and
no
everything on no preservatives.
Sin and din and whatever
Exactly.
those all those
Right.
words are.
So, yeah,
Holy
that
doody din or
you
whatever.
can't pronounce.
Only
right?
thing is caramel color to make
Oh.
that color.
Love
Okay.
it.
Yeah, just caramel color. But other than that, the aloe base is the selling point because
Love.
people are looking for a face wash that's not going to strip the skin and also not going to sit on the skin.
Nice.
And that's where the palmarosa comes in as well. So it smells delicious.
Ooh,
I mean, you can
wanna
smell it.
Yes.
And we have a travel size.
Oh, love
um,
that.
So our face wash is sold in several boutiques across the country.
That's good
We
to
sell
know.
it on our
It
site.
smells yummy.
All of our products,
a-
really.
Yeah. Smells
Um,
yummy, yummy.
Yes. So it's like aromatherapy
Oh
Yeah,
my
too,
I
God, it
love
smells
like
that.
as you're using
delicious.
it.
It's like a spa experience
Yes,
Yes.
every
in a
day.
bottle.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
And
I
quite
love that.
honestly, you could put it on your
Palmarosa and
body.
aloe.
It could be a body
You can
wash.
use
Like,
it for
Yes.
why
body
not?
wash
Yeah,
So
too.
I
why not?
use it as a
Yeah,
body wash. So
definitely.
again, multi-purpose.
And your last little piece there is the
The
oil.
balancing face serum.
Oh,
Again, aromatherapy in a bottle,
mm.
but it's balancing. It is this is chamomile with carrot seed, and then it has
Oh,
lavender. It has other essential oils, but healing, very healing, moisturizing. But your skin sucks it in. It's
Mm.
not going to sit on top of
Yeah,
your
and have that
skin.
okay.
like
Yeah,
oily feeling, but it's
it
gonna.
balances your complexion with the carrot seed.
Seed.
Yeah. It will reduce some puffiness in the face.
Nice.
So, it even reduces, people think this is odd, but I've seen people with tension in the jaw
Yeah.
area, and I tell them to kind of just massage it,
In
and it relaxes the jaw area while
gives
it's
you.
moisturizing the skin. So
Wow.
again, multi-purpose.
That's
Like
Yes.
I
so
love
many
that.
things you can use this. You can use it on your body too, even though
Yeah.
Amazing.
it's a balancing face serum. But definitely it balances the skin, good for combination, oily, acne, because it's going to reduce the
Inflammation.
inflammation,
Hmm.
yeah, from the
I
breakout.
love
So
that.
This is so
multi-purpose.
wonderful.
Yeah.
I do really love that. I
Yeah.
love products that, can do multiple things because
Yes,
I feel like
definitely.
I'm
Yes.
getting,
Like so many different.
and I'm
Yeah.
getting a
Like look at
bang
that.
for my
You don't
buck.
need anything
And I
else.
Yeah.
just, and
Yeah.
I just really, really love that, these are things that can be used in so many different ways.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
what have been some of the most important lessons you've learned while leading the brand through this next chapter?
I think I learned a lot from the products. Like I said, I spent a lot of time with the products. I actually made them myself, so I know how they're made. So really, I learned some things about some formulations. Maybe I
Yes.
want to adjust, or some formulations I just leave. So the actual products, like having that intimate connection with them, and not just, I feel like a leader is also a doer, like
Yes.
not just someone walking in and saying, continue to make that,
Yes.
being connected to the process.
Sure.
And not only with the products, but just all systems that were set up.
Right.
Yes.
Excellent
Yes.
systems were set up with
Mm-hmm.
the business, which made it attractive as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to learn, teach myself to say, okay, does this resonate with me?
Right.
Yes.
Does this person resonate with me? Are
Right.
they going to do
Sense,
it?
maybe.
How? Does
Yeah.
it make sense?
Yeah.
Sure.
So all of that has been a lesson.
Yeah.
Every part of that's been a lesson. Like
Beautiful.
the accounting team, I love them, so I kept them. But I went in thinking, oh no, I'm getting my own,
Right.
But so all of those, just navigating this process of an existing business and
Perfect.
seeing what resonates and what doesn't resonate.
Right.
And so I think you can lead better if you know actually all the nuts and bolts
Yep.
of what's
Yes.
happening in your business, in your company. Yeah.
That's really,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
that is so awesome and inspiring. And so we're going to now transition over to
The next
the
segment.
next segment of our podcast.
April, you came into this conversation with your 5 thoughtful questions around leadership, sustainability, and growth, and ownership. You recently acquired a beauty brand, Earth to Face. So we invited someone whose journey speaks directly to those realities.
So joining us now is Desirée Rogers, CEO and co-owner of Fashion Fair and Black Opal, 2 of the most historically significant Black-owned beauty brands in American beauty history.
I'm
It's
so
very
excited.
Welcome, Desirée.
Wow.
We're so
I
excited
have
to have
chills.
you.
This is an
you.
honor.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
Desiree meet April. April meet Desiree.
Hi. This
And
is
Hello
an
there.
honor.
We
So
know we've
good
had
to
some
meet you.
difficulties trying to make this happen, but the gods are on our
know.
side. So we appreciate your time, Desiree. Thank you for being with us. Tell us a little bit about
Your role
Yes.
with Black Opal and how that opportunity presented itself and where you are taking these 2 very,
Iconic.
very iconic brands.
So, first of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate having the opportunity to talk about two brands that are near and dear to me and that I just really love. I love the history, I love the journey that we're in now, and I'm super confident that anyone that tries any of the products will love them. Having said that, I worked in the Obama White House, and when I came out of the White House, I made a decision that it was time for me to do something in my community. So I'd worked in a lot of industries over the years, and I just made that leap. I think sometimes we have a lot of fear when we're doing something that maybe is a little bit more emotional than our usual work. And what was emotional was that, my community would be depending upon me to do good work.
Right.
And I would be, judged by family, friends, because they would know, look, that's her work. It's either
Right.
good or it's bad.
Yeah.
And so, having overcome that, I moved back to Chicago from Washington, and I went to work for Johnson Publishing, and they owned Ebony, Jet, and Fashion Fair Cosmetics. And during that time, I really fell in love with the confidence building and the work that we were doing in the fashion fair area around beauty. And so I really fell in love with the fact that I could see a woman be so cheered up by a simple foundation match
Yeah.
or perfect lipstick or perfect gloss. It wasn't about, doing a full face, but it was just those one, two items that made her feel beautiful and made her, gave her the confidence to tackle anything she was tackling. So sometimes behind those counters, I felt like it was almost like social work or seeing an analyst or something because people share a lot. And I just fell in love with that process and the ability to maybe in some small way create some additional confidence for somebody. So I left Johnson Publishing after 6 years, and I spent almost 3 years looking at different beauty companies, hair, skincare, and foundation. And I really felt that Black Opal, even though not Black owned at the time,
Mm,
had really been a leader in creating makeup that was also good for the skin.
mm.
And so I pursued that owner. Again, I knew about Black Opal at the beginning of my search, but he wasn't willing to sell. It took me 3 years for him to decide to sell Black Opal to myself and my co-owner, Cheryl Mayberry McKissick.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome.
I mean, it's called Black Opal. It should be owned by a Black woman, right?
Well, you know what? I'm not mad at Nikos. Nikos is a brilliant chemist,
Okay.
and his wife happened to be Jamaican.
Oh, wow.
And so his wife, he created the line for his wife. And so
Oh,
he was such an amazing chemist and is responsible for many of the brands that we know about that are big players today. And so this was their side gig.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I
wow.
think that, we have his knowledge and his expertise in the creation of a brand that is geared for Black and brown skin.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And he had his
Nice.
wife as his muse,
Yeah.
Yes.
essentially.
Yes, and she also, was part of the business in reviewing products along with a Black dermatologist.
Oh, that's
And
Wow.
so
wonderful.
What a great
even
duo.
today, very few companies have that. We have a Black dermatologist that we work with
Nice.
on the products as well as makeup experts, including Sam Fine and a number of other makeup artists that work with us on the products.
That is so
Nice.
wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
really
amazing.
great, and it's very much needed.
Yes.
I mean, I remember a time where just finding well, before I was allowed to wear foundation, but my mom,
That's right, we all remember that you're not allowed yet to wear
right,
Yes, yes, you're not
Yes.
yes,
allowed to
I
wear
wasn't
What do
yeah.
you need
allowed.
foundation
Right.
for?
No.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
But just
Right.
going with her to the department stores or trying to find a match and it not being available, or it's
Right.
always a gray. It would always have a
That's
gray
Like
right, a
cast
grayish
to
or
it.
on lighter skinned, Black people, tends to turn a little bit orange.
Right,
Yes,
right,
So
yes.
you have that orange color or you have that kinda ashy olive tone
Yeah.
that
exactly.
really is no one's, no one's tone. The
Yeah,
one thing I
Undertone.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The one thing I
yeah.
would say is, going back, obviously, I not obviously, but I grew up in New Orleans. The sun is very, very hot.
Mm-hmm.
And what I will say is that, yes, there was that process of my mother saying, you can't wear foundation. But I will tell you, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I loved a foundation. And it probably wasn't my perfect match. It was definitely fashion fair. And the one thing I'm going to say is any cosmetics that has color in it is a kind of almost like a built-in SPF.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like my skin is in the shape it's in because I wore foundation so early on
Mm.
in those New Orleans years. And when I compare to my girlfriends who were not wearing foundation, at this age today, their skin does not look like my skin.
Yeah,
Well,
your
there you go.
skin looks gorgeous.
Flawless.
Yes.
Yes.
Flawless.
That's great that you bring
So
that
Yeah.
just
up.
to know anything, when you're out, if you have on something, it is protecting the skin.
Is
It has
protecting,
Definitely,
color.
right.
especially the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
And we also, as Black women need that protection because some people don't
exactly.
believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So Nikos, the owner of Black Opal, was the first to create um, foundations with SPF.
Oh,
And so
Wow.
wow.
there's two of our lines have SPF in the actual foundations, and they don't gray and they don't turn colors on the skin. And so that was an innovation that he was able to do when he launched our hero product, those stick foundations from Black Opal.
I love that. I really love that. I'm going to go
Mhm.
grab some.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't
Same
wait.
here.
All right.
Same here.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can't wait to try.
definitely. I'll grab some and post and
Yes.
definitely
Yes.
post.
Yes, for
Yes.
sure.
We would love that. And there's
Awesome.
23 shades, so I'm sure we can match you.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I'm
wow.
sure
I
we
Yeah.
have no
can.
doubt. I definitely have no doubt.
Yeah.
But Miss April, this is your opportunity to ask some very foundational questions to Desiree. So please take it away.
Okay. This is so exciting and I'm honored. I mean, this is an honor to be able to speak with you. I recently acquired a business, of course, and I prepared some questions, but now I can kind of tailor them to the person I'm speaking with. So, my first question is, what hidden gem did you see in Fashion Fair that you wanted to present to the world in a new or different way?
Sure. So the first thing I would say about Fashion Fair is that it's iconic. It has been in this industry for over 50 years. It's always been Black owned. And so I just felt when we saw that it had gone, was up for in the bankruptcy courts, we just thought that, wow, we can't allow something, a brand that's so iconic to not have a refresh and not to be able to continue. So many times we're quick to judge and to say, oh, it's old. I don't want that. I want the newest thing. And I often ask people, I said, well, look, Chanel is really, how old is Chanel? How old is the House of Gucci?
Yes.
And so why shouldn't Black Americans have a firm or a beauty line that's been with us through the years? So now, of course, that required the gym is all of the knowledge and information we had in regards to the shades that people loved and the perfect matches. And we knew that they really loved a product called Cream to Powder. We
Mm-hmm.
also knew that there was a lipstick that's called Chocolate Raspberry that everyone had to have.
Right.
Yes.
Had the data. We had the data. And so the whole idea was let's take what we had, let's take that data and also the performance of those products, let's innovate them, bring them up to date, ensure they have the same skin like or skincare qualities of Black Opal
Right.
that we learned from that brand, and let's translate that into the new Fashion Fair. And so we used that, we had both things going at the same time. So all of the products for Fashion Fair have been refreshed. They're all new, they're clean, they're dermatologist approved. They perform really well. This is Fashion
Oh,
Fair.
nice.
Very
It
nice.
is.
I love the new packaging as well. The
Yes.
white and
Yes.
gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, the white and gold, we
Beautiful.
thought, white is a great clean color.
Sure.
Yes.
And we can play against that. And we thought, why shouldn't Black women have gold?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why shouldn't we have queen? Why shouldn't the queens have gold? And so
Yeah.
that was that was part of the thinking. And then inside the box, you see a nice kind of beautiful green, which is for new beginnings, for money, for success. It's
Right.
for
Love it.
all of the things. And so I think that the history coupled with the new formulations and us just being out there presenting and more people finding out about it, it should be, what we're hoping will be a wealth generator for our community. And so one of the things you're going to see us doing is more and more affiliate work with sororities. So this summer we're very busy. We just finished AKA's regional in Boston. We will
Wow.
be
Oh,
with the
wow.
Lynx in Detroit.
Nice.
We will be with the Urban League in Nashville, and another group
Nice.
called the Carousels. We'll be with them in Memphis, and then we'll be out with the there's one other group we're going to be out with in Baltimore, Jack and Jill.
Oh, Jack and
Okay.
Jill.
Jack and
Wow.
Jill. So these are our clients.
Yes.
These are our consumers, and so we're finding much more success going directly to them
Yes.
as opposed to trying to wait for them to come in store.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
so this has been an opportunity for us to learn, but also an opportunity for us to serve when we're at those locations with our teams, really doing shade matching and talking directly to consumers, and then giving 10% of our sales back to those organizations.
Oh, I love
You may
That's
Nice.
not
that.
really
know,
I
but
love
Fashion
that.
Fair generated 55 million in donations to causes in the Black community. So we're
wow.
nowhere near that,
I love
but
that.
we are starting the process again because it's super duper important.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
very
Yeah.
commendable, and I think it's
Yes.
also a really great strategy right
Yes.
Yes.
now
Yes.
because of the just the brand ambassadors, and everyone is looking for kind of that like, oh, I wear this, and
Yes.
what color is that you have on, or who, there's
Yes.
always, and that's how we learn about new products, is
100%.
Word of
because
mouth.
somebody is wearing it and then you ask them. And so just having that, I think that will be really wonderful to launch, Fashion Fair back into
Our
Yes.
communities.
right,
Yes.
and
Yes.
everybody's makeup cases.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
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 we have a very busy summer with both Fashion Fair and not to forget Black Opal. We
Yes.
will be out in the marketplace. I think we're going to be at Essence with Black Opal.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
we're
nice.
doing a big activation with Butter, our other friends who are already
Butterskin. We love
Oh,
Dorian.
Butter in
yeah, that's
Chicago
great.
on the beach with
Ooh.
our new setting spray recently launched by Black Opal. So another theme you'll see from us is really holding hands with other Black founders and working together. There's enough space for all of us. And one of
Yes.
Yes.
the lessons that we need to learn is the ability to work together
Yes.
Yeah.
as
Mhm.
opposed to thinking of each other as competition.
Petition.
Yes.
Correct.
And so often that's what we think. I think that's very small minded,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's really directionally not what consumers want to see. They much prefer, and we know this, they're not going to have all of the Fashion Fair and Black Opal in their bags. They're going to have
Right.
some of this and some of that and
Yes.
some of
Yes.
this.
Mm-hmm.
So why not make it easy for that consumer to be able to try multiple brands that I would say have the same values?
Yes. Yes. So important.
That's refreshing to hear.
Yes.
That's
That was a great
awesome.
answer.
Yeah, that's refreshing. And I have to throw out there before my next question, don't forget the deltas.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a member
Listen,
of
we're
Delta
working
Sigma
on
Theta.
something with the deltas. Actually, something just came in from the deltas. So I think we have an opera. We're negotiating right now with the deltas on something. I just don't remember the details, but it's
Okay.
coming. Because
Awesome.
I remember
That's
saying,
awesome.
is this a Delta event? And they're like, yes, it is. Because we usually decorate our the caps of our lipsticks in the colors of the sorority.
Oh,
Oh, I love
nice.
that.
That's very,
Nice.
yeah, that's a
I
nice
love
touch.
that. Nice
I love
touch.
that.
Well done.
Okay, my next question, I had a question about strategy, and you touched on that quite well just now. My next question is, what challenges did you face in the market bringing a brand back online after so many years?
There are multiple challenges and they still exist. And so it wouldn't be fair for me to pretend that everything is so wonderful and that everything is going so smoothly. I think we have learned a lot in the 6 years, and we continue to learn. But I would say there are a couple of challenges. At the top of the list is capital and the ability to be able to raise capital. We certainly can't fund the business just from the sales that we're getting. And so we continue to struggle with, what is the best approach to raising capital? I don't have an answer for that today. I'm literally in the middle of making a decision on how we're going to raise, our next 2 to 5 million. I mean, that's really what we need in order to get everything, stable and, have it be the way that it should be. We've made some tough decisions, in terms of our expenses. So we're keeping expenses really low. And in some instances, I'm wishing that I had a little bit more money to spend on staff. At the same time, I'm learning things because we do have such, a small team. And so we have to dive in, and then you're like, well, why were we doing that?
Right.
Or let's change this, or, so you can't be afraid. You really have to kind of push forward. You got to lean on your partners, and, hopefully have partners that can stick with you and stay with you. I think, and so that's piece, like the behind the curtain, really, staffing, getting the right partners, making certain that you continue to ask and push on expenses, because what may work for a firm that represents the majority does not work for you. And so at some point, I was with Walmart yesterday. It's an education in, you want us to, advertise with Walmart. Well, how many of your, consumers, they're huge. So the answer is okay. But what percentage of your consumers are even going to be interested in what I have to say?
Right.
And so is there a way for me to streamline and get to my consumers a little bit less expensive, you know, and be able, and hence, all these conferences that we have been working 3 years to get into.
Yes.
Because
Right.
that's another thing. You don't just stroll over there
Yeah.
and raise your hand.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. A whole process that you
Oh, yeah.
have to go through. They know me now, so I'm good.
Yeah.
But the whole interview process that you have to go through. But having said that, so that's one piece. I think the other piece is just how expensive it is to get a voice out there. Everyone says, well, all you need to do is go viral. Yeah, well, if I could just go viral, I would love that too.
It would
Sure.
be
But that's
easy.
not how
Yeah.
it works. It's not how it works. And many people that are out here, they have to make a living too. And so they're demanding really high dollar amounts just to talk on your brand. And we really want people that really do like the brand
Yeah.
as opposed to just pay for play.
Mm-hmm.
That's really not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in people that really do love it and really can stand with us over, a period of time and really be a voice for us too and giving us feedback on
Yes.
on the products. And so I wish it was much easier for people to pick up the product and try it, and I wish they would, but getting in front of them requires a tremendous amount of capital
Yes.
that I just don't have. And so it's sheer determination,
Right.
to sell what we're selling and word of mouth. And so word of mouth becomes really, really important, as well as people understanding the overall brand story. These are clean cosmetics. These are cosmetics for Black and brown people. They're dermatologist approved. They all have skincare like qualities. People hear that and they're like, what? And so I think those are the big things, is the marketing and getting people to try your product, and then all of the back office things that need to be as tight as they can be as you grow the business.
Thank you. That really resonates on every level.
Yeah.
On
If
every
something's not
level.
working, I mean, the last thing I will say, if something is not working, you got to cut it off early
Yeah.
Yeah.
versus later, which is many times very hard to do. I know this for a fact. You just can't have it linger. And, it can be difficult if people are involved, they have another opinion. But the bottom line is, as the CEO, I'm running the business.
Right.
And so until I'm not, I have to go with my best judgment.
Correct.
Yes.
And that may or may not be what you think,
Mm-hmm.
but that's my job.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that
Absolutely.
really resonates.
100%.
Yes, thank you.
That's really great advice.
Yes,
Yes, it
great
is. Yeah.
advice. Yes. What value do you see in an acquisition versus starting just from scratch, just starting on your own?
Great
Well, for
question.
us, we really wanted we didn't want to start from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to start with a business that was already ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are positives to that in that the basic infrastructure, the products, except in the case of Fashion Fair, there were no products. We had to start from scratch with the products.
Mhm.
But you are building on a brand name. In both instances, these brands, even though I complain about I want more customers, they do have recognition from a start. We didn't have to start with Desiree's beauty brand, right?
Yeah.
Scratch.
You already have
And
Yes.
the name.
so,
Yeah.
so you get that jump start in terms of the brand. I think you can shine up the brand a bit, right? When people say, "Oh, I don't like Fashion Fair because it creates an orange tint on my skin,"
Mhm.
or, it came off on my clothing. I
Mhm.
said, "Well, when was the last time you used it?"
Right.
Yes.
So
Right.
the bad side is you have that history that people remember that they have
Yes,
to
Yes.
get
yes.
over.
Mhm.
The other bad side is people will say, well, this isn't the same chocolate raspberry I used in 1974.
Mm.
And I will say to them, well, I don't want to tell you this, but it's a lot cleaner.
Right.
And it's not the same formulation. It's as close to the color as we could get with a clean product.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say, try it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really close,
Yes.
And so these are the things you get, the positives and the negatives. And quite frankly, at this time in my career, I don't have another 15 years to build a business.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because I would like to relax at some point,
Yes.
right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's would be well deserved.
Exactly.
Yes.
So
Yes. Totally helpful. Yes.
I think we might have time for one more question.
Okay.
And do you have anything else, April?
I think my main questions have
Just-
been answered. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
I mean, I think
Thank
you've
you so
gotten
much.
some
Do you-
invaluable advice.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
And we've learned a lot more about Black Opal and Fashion Fair. And we're going to get some of those products and try them
Yeah.
and share the
Well, you guys
word.
definitely have to
Yes.
follow us. So
Oh,
I
we
hope
will.
you're following
Yes.
Fashion Fair Cosmetics
Yes.
and Black Opal Beauty.
Yes.
I hope
Okay.
you're doing that.
Absolutely.
I hope you're following me. I am that Desiree.
Yes.
That's my Instagram account. And I hope that you guys will try some of the products. I mean, I would suggest for summer for Black Opal, you try the primer spray or the setting spray or
Nice.
both.
Okay.
And everything at Black Opal is under $20, so I don't want to hear any excuses. Very high quality, very reasonable.
Why
Yeah.
We
Right.
always do that.
I
Yes.
We
know.
Very,
always
very
do that.
reasonable.
Yes.
We
Yes.
always do that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so
tell
this
us where we can purchase so people
So
know.
online,
Okay.
blackopalbeauty.com and fashionfair.com.
Okay.
Fashion Fair is sold at Macy's. So if
Okay.
you go to the Fashion Fair site and put in your zip code, it will tell you the closest Macy's.
Okay.
And then Black Opal is sold at Walmart,
Okay.
at Target,
Okay.
at CVS, Ulta, and JCPenney's.
JC
Okay.
Nice.
Very nice.
That's
Nice.
But
great.
not all of them, okay? So
Right.
you
Yeah,
have to
You have to put your zip
code
code.
Okay.
so you don't go there and go like, where is it? And then it's not there.
Right.
I would suggest right now for the next couple of weeks, which I didn't say in this meeting, but I can say now, we're having a manufacturer problem with one of our manufacturers
Okay.
that was acquired. And so I would go online. You have a better chance of getting products. So we are behind in our shipping of product simply because one of our manufacturers shut its doors and was resold. And so
Oh,
we have
goodness.
really been struggling these first 5 months to get product. It's coming,
Right.
but it's quite slow.
Okay.
Okay.
Quite slow. So I've been over there a couple of times now to New York to see, hey guys, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful that the month of June you'll see us come back in stock in a
We'll-
large number of items.
We'll send you
Okay.
that
That's
positive
good.
energy. But as you
Yes.
know as well, we're building this podcast to ensure that we give voice to amazing founders, Black and Brown specifically. So follow us and tell your friends, and let's do this next week.
Yes, we certainly appreciate it at Black Opal and Fashion Fair.
Absolutely,
It's quite a
absolutely.
journey, but it can also be fun.
Yeah.
It can also be
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
Don't forget the fun.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
thank you so very much. We're
Yes.
very
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
appreciative.
you.
We
Thank you
appreciate
for
your
your
Have a great
time.
weekend.
Okay. Enjoy your
care.
summer.